Essentially, we are the office responsible for walking students through the process of taking ownership of all aspects of their professional or career development. There's a multitude of services that we offer, but we've put a premium on making sure that the student has developed some kind of direction in terms of either what their career is going to be or what their major is going to be. That's a key statistic. Certainly, it's understandable for students not to have their career choice made by the time they come to see us. But as long as you come see us freshman year, particularly first semester of your freshman year, then we have tools in place that speed up and help students make very good decisions in terms of what their major is going to be. Then the next step is resume preparation, and we can do that from a general standpoint if there is no targeted employer, or we can teach you how to do it in a tailored format if we know exactly who the employer is and developing a resume that speaks to the employer. That's followed by the interview process. We want to teach you how all aspects of interviewing, on the job, for a job, graduate school, what have you, because once you complete that interview process, which is step 3, then the fun stuff begins. That's when we start placing you or identifying employers for you to meet and interview with, all the while you're sitting in class a lot of times. Or we can also identify mentors, which is just as important, folks that can assist us in identifying internships or co-ops for you. So really those first 3 steps, the declaring your career or major, resume, and then interviewing, those are the 3 things we need to get everybody through, hopefully by the 3rd semester of college, which means the first semester of sophomore year. Well, the first thing is to start first semester freshman year by setting an appointment with us. That's the most important thing that I can emphasize. Once that, usually students that start with us that early and continue to meet with us once a semester usually do well. And when I say do well, meaning by the first semester of their senior year, by September of their senior year, they have received at least 1 job offer or 1 acceptance to graduate school. So that's kind of how we define success for the most part. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that students have the ability here at Lincoln, which is unusual, to make individual one-on-one appointments for periods up to 1 hour. Okay, that's unheard of. And that's to 1 hour each for resumes, interviewing, and then other things such as salary negotiation, such as the timetable in terms of accepting offers, and a multitude of other things, services, graduate school visits, employer visits, career fairs, information tables. All of these mechanisms are ways that students can use to come in and find themselves and develop themselves professionally and ask questions. Well, that's okay. Certainly normal. We don't put as big an emphasis on determining a career your first year as we do on helping you determine your favorite subject or your major. And there's a strategy that we have in place in terms of how you want to approach choosing your major, as well as choosing a minor or other elective courses, so that you are positioned well and competitively to get the top internships in the country. So it's more about, in your first year, your freshman year, determining a general interest, a general major that you can do so. There are strategic advantages for getting this done early, particularly in terms of determining your major. Number 1, you get an earlier start on taking the classes that ultimately you'll need to graduate. So you'll have a better chance to graduate on time, so to speak. Number 2, and just as importantly, students that tend to determine their major early on also tend to perform better academically, more often than not. The third thing is that the opportunities for internships, mentorship, things that will turn into, quote, your dream situation after Lincoln, can happen and often do happen quicker. The changing a career is normal. That happens all the time. And certainly a number of the services that we mentioned are encounters that students use as the impetus to do just that. If they get an internship is an excellent way to determine whether or not you're going to enjoy that type of work or not. Certainly career fairs, information sessions, on-campus interviewing, information tables. We have about, I would say, 50 to 60 on-campus visits by employers or graduate schools each year outside of our annual career fair. So there are going to be opportunities that come up weekly for students to interact with people and ask the kinds of questions that will help them make their decision. In terms of your major, we do not rush the decision of your major. We certainly have an online assessment that we put you through, and that's the first step. But there's an awful lot of reading and that is involved that we instruct you all as students to do before we say, okay, now you're ready to declare a major. So we make sure that there's about 45 different career-specific introductions that this office has. Each introduction is 3 pages in length, so it provides enough information for students to start to generate questions. There's also a process of meeting with professors, scheduling interviews with professors to discuss what they have read about specific careers or specific subject areas. So choosing a major is not a quick process going through this office. It's long, it's drawn out, it may take a month or two. But usually once that decision is made, very rarely do students end up leaving their major. They do end up changing careers because each major encompasses hundreds of different career options. So that aspect is normal but it's not necessarily a problem either. You know, it's something that is natural. Even after you leave Lincoln, you're probably going to change careers at least 3 or 4 times in your professional life, or you may have 2 different careers going on at the same time. If you choose to pursue hobbies or start your own business, in many cases people have are involved in 2 different industries simultaneously. So that's not something to be afraid of. Our office is located in Wright Hall, 3rd floor, room 315. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Appointments are available usually for graduate students or students that are off campus. We can certainly make hour-long appointments or 30-minute long appointments, as well as in-person appointments as well. Pretty sure I got it all in. I will say that the end goal, again, for all you as students is by the first semester of your senior year, okay, we would like for you to have completed 1 internship or a study abroad experience, have at least a 3.1 GPA cumulative, have a resume and interview coaching completed through Career Services. And if you do those things, then you'll have an excellent chance to start receiving offers for employment or graduate school, acceptances to graduate school by September or October of your senior year. And that's where we want you to be.